Welcome to this brief training video which will teach you how to effectively use the Teacher Reach Target messaging interface. After logging into Parentlink, I'm directed to the home screen. To send a Parentlink message, I will click the Messages tab. Before I explain everything, I want to quickly show you how simple it is to send a message. Let's say it's the beginning of the school year and I have sent home with all of my students a class outline for the year. I want to make sure all of the parents of my students are aware of my class objectives, so I'll send them an informative message while encouraging them to review this information. Did you see how quickly I created that message and sent it out? Once you understand how to do what I just did, it will be just as quick and easy for you. First, I want to explain a few things about the system. Then, I'll teach you a few ways that you can send messages. On the left, the Select Messages area contains over 70 pre-recorded and sorted messages that I can choose from and send to the parents of any of my students. Each of these messages is recorded in 6 languages: English, Spanish, French, German, Cantonese, and Mandarin. On the right, all of my students are visible in the Students menu. As a teacher, I can see all of my class periods listed as tabs across the top of my screen. Next to each student name, I can see the last time I sent a message to their parents. By default, my students' first names are listed in alphabetical order. Let's go to the bottom of the screen to see our other options. If I wanted to sort students by their last name, I could check this box. From here, I can also click the Show Profile Pics and see the profile pictures next to the names of all my students. These pictures can be manually added to any student profile by simply clicking on their name. From the Options menu, I can also export or print the class list for each period I teach. Also, notice this option. By checking this box, you allow your parents to speak a response after hearing your message. These responses are conveniently forwarded directly to your email. Now, let me give you another real-life scenario so you can see how to use the interface. In my first and second period U.S. history classes, we have just started studying the Civil War. My students have been assigned to write a 2-page report on this historical event, which amounts to 20% of their final grade. I want to make sure that all of the parents of my students are aware of this very important class assignment. First, I will find a message that suits my needs. For this example, I will probably find an appropriate message under the Class Projects and Reading category. Let's look at the Project Assignment message. This message is perfect. Like most of these pre-recorded messages, I love how the content is quick and to the point. The messages tell the parents only what they need to know and oftentimes encourages them to get more involved with their child and what is going on in their classes. Now, I can't click on the Apply to Selected button because I haven't yet selected my students, so I will first have to close this screen. Now I will select my history students by clicking the All link under my Period 1 tab. After selecting my message recipients, I can click back on the message that I want to send. This time I will click the Apply to Selected button. Now you can see that all of these students have been selected to receive this message. Next, I will click on my second period history class tab. Again, I need to select all of my students. Another way to apply a message to the parents of my students is to click the name of the message I would like to send, and while holding down my mouse button, I drag the message anywhere on the student side of the screen. Now all of the parents of my second period students are selected to receive this message. Before clicking the Send button at the bottom of the screen, I want to prepare another message for delivery. There are a few students in each of my classes, including my Period 3, 4, and 6 U.S. Government classes, who have shown exceptional improvement in the classroom. All I have to do is select the names of these students from each period, find an appropriate message to drag over to the selected students, and then I will repeat this process in my other classes. So watch me as I show you how to send messages to individuals. Last of all, I will click the Send button at the bottom left part of the screen. This will queue up my messages for delivery. It's important for you to understand that your messages will not go out immediately. Each district or school predetermines an appropriate default start time for all messages. My messages will sit in a queue until that time begins. If it is past the default time, my messages will immediately deliver. The last example I want to show you is one of my favorites because it allows parents to respond to my message and give me some feedback. I have a few students, unfortunately, who are at risk of failing, and I noticed a message under the class achievement category entitled "In Danger of Failing." Now I can see the message on the left. I will simply check the students who are in danger of failing from each of my classes. After they are checked, I can drag and drop the messages to their names. Now that I'm finished selecting my students who are in danger of failing, I need to scroll down to the bottom of my screen. Finally, I will check the box which will allow the parents of these failing students to respond to my message. The last step, of course, would be to click on the Send button, which will queue up my message for delivery tonight. To view the status of any message I have sent, I would click on the Outbox link just under the Messages tab. In the Outbox, I can see a list of recent messages that I have queued up for delivery. By clicking on any title, I can view the message delivery statistics. Next to the status of attempted chart, I can see the delivery statistics of all of my messages that were sent out. I can see which parents answered the phone, which were busy, I can see which have invalid phone numbers, and my favorite, I can even see if any parents hung up on my message. I hope this video has opened your eyes to the simplicity and the power of your Teacher Reach interface.